Good evening, everybody. My name is Sheila Pree. I'm a fine art photographer from the home of the Civil Rights Movement in Atlanta, a daughter of a soldier, and I'm taking action to change the perspective of how Black bodies are being seen. In 2008, I created a body of work called Young Americans. What does Young Americans mean to you? What I meant to say is, what does America mean to you in the 21st century? I gave these young Americans, Generation Y, a flag, and they took a stance on how they felt about America. It was not feeling being belong or being silent at all. My work has lived in spaces and galleries and museums, and I, as an artist, decided to take the work out to the masses of the people. I reach back to the young people that changed the face of the nation during the Civil Rights Movement. And these are the unknown members of the Civil Rights Movement: Frank Holloway, a freedom writer; Dr. Rosalind Polk, who wrote the appeal for the human rights; and Lonnie King, the co-founder of the Atlanta Student Movement. 2013, Trayvon happened. That's when I, as an artist, went to the ground to find out what was going on, and the work evolved into 1960 now. I got a call the first of the year last year from an organization. They said, we're getting ready to shut down Martin Luther King Parade. This is in the home of the Civil Rights Movement. The hashtag was Reclaim Martin Luther King. Basically, the young people says we are tired of the commercialization of Martin Luther King. He was much more than just a dream. So they have awoke. And the elders were terribly upset about this. And for the first time in Atlanta, I saw Black trans lives matter. All Black lives matter. And these are the images that I took in Atlanta. I'm gonna just go through some of them. Janelle Monáe. In my work, what I try to do versus with the media is just show a different side. Even though these are protest images, I'm not on the out just clicking the photographs. To me, these are intimate portraits. When have you seen a Black male that's in a meeting with tears down his eyes? All you see is what people say, that they are defiant. These images are in Ferguson. When I went to Ferguson, I went to the aftermath of Ferguson. There was so much tension in the air. This is Mike Brown Sr.'s father, and he has Mike Brown chosen for change, Jail Darren William for life. This is him with dignity. It's not defiance. 2015 was a year of disruption. 2016 is Black bodies are continued to be in danger. This is in DC. The New York Justice League in New York walked from New York to Washington, D.C. to bring a package to Congress called the Justice Package. And I happened to be in Freddie Gray when he passed that Sunday in Baltimore, and I was on the ground the next day photographing.
Today, Freddie is the movement now to change the world. And we're going to Baltimore, help us. Please, Baltimore, all those that listen, help us change Baltimore. And then we're coming after the world. We ought to come together. And we should not let no police, let no hater, let no spectator, or let somebody, listen, look around you. They don't live around here. They don't know what we go through. And it's time for them to start seeing how we live. And it's not right how we're living.
We love each other.
We love each other, and they want us to kill each other.
We do love each other.
Unity. United we stand.
Divided we fall.
And divided we fall. No justice.
No peace.
No justice, no peace. That's what the young people are feeling out on the street. They feel like they're fighting the same fights their parents and grandparents are fighting, and they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. I cannot keep up with my travelers going to the constant shootings that are happening. This is in Baton Rouge. I went there not the same day that it was there, and people were out in the streets. The gangs are coming together, the Crips and Bloods. They say we're tired of the police killing us, so they have a truce. No justice, no peace. Black Lives Matter. When I was in Houston, when I got back, not Houston, when I got back to Atlanta, they were doing, have anybody heard of Stone Mountain? Stone Mountain used to be the home of the KKK. They are giving them permits still, the white nationalists and the KKK, to go up and do protests with their Confederate flags. And that day, a lot of different organizations, just not black folks, but everybody went up to try to protest with it. There was state troopers, everybody that was there that couldn't get to them. And I walked up to this gentleman and I asked him, was he in the service? He says, no. And if you notice, he says, I am a man. And he says, I'm here to protect the people. Respect our humanity. And this is when not the last two, but Alton and Phillip got shot in Atlanta. And they shut down Buckhead, which is in a white area, and that was a no-no, actually. Here again, you see images of the gangs coming together, strange foot lying on the public streets. Andrew Young, anybody heard of Andrew Young? Well, he got on TV and said that they were unlovable brats. And what the young people did, created a hashtag called Atlanta is Ready. They marched for 7 days, shut down Atlanta, and made T-shirts that said unlovable brats and went into City Hall and protest. This is the DNC. We are not starting a race war, we're trying to end one. Is my daddy next? My work not only lives in spaces, like I said before, in galleries and out in the street, but it also lives in social media. And within me photographing the protests and me being commissioned from Creative Time, which I want to say thank you, I have to have a space of my own to talk about different things. So I created an Instagram campaign while I shoot the protest images. And what it was I would go on the streets and ask people, how do they use their creativity to occupy the future? I actually went back to Mr. Lonnie King that started the movement, the Atlanta student movement, and he is actually 80 years old right now. And I asked him, and the hashtag is Power Artists People. I'm gonna read it to you. It says, when we speak of imagination and creativity, it conjures up how we can image and devise methodologies to solve complex problems and challenges, especially on racial issues. I cite racial issues because this is the most vexing problem facing America today. It took ingenuity, creativity, and boldness to confront racism head on. It would take the same type commitment on the part of today's youth to force America to live up to the creed. My hope is that I can use some of my creativity and imagination to assist today's soldiers who are fighting for freedom. The major caveat I bring to the table is for them to plan and organize their efforts. Unlike the 1960s, they will have a rainbow of people who will face the howling mobs and suffer the indignities that the major communities will inflict upon any group or any individual who dare to openly challenge American apartheid system, which support the thesis that Black lives do matter. Power, artists, people. And I thank you.
Your images are powerful.
Thank you.
20 years from now, what do you want people to say looking at your work?
That's a good question. 20 years from now, I would like to be able to have these images being taught for young people. And I would like for them to really know the history about controlling and reclaiming our narratives as African Americans, especially our culture, because we do not control it at all.
Thank you.
Thank you.